Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is a Let's Build video. Let's Build episode 100. Wow. What a Let's Build video is what it's all about. Basically, I take a model kit and I'll show you how to put it together. Now, sometimes there could be something wrong with the sprue, as in something's numbered one way in the instructions, but in the sprue it's something different. There could be something with a sprue where the part you're trying to get off is very weak and flimsy. Again, I'll give you a heads up to let you know. You could, be looking at these videos to help you with certain parts of a model that are a bit difficult. A few of my viewers have commented like Angron's base, these rocks, and Zodward Waltznagger's cloak and stuff. They're just a few that have been said to me. You could be interested in adding a particular model to your army, but not sure, is it easy to put together, is it difficult? You could be looking to start a new army, but not sure again about the models. You could suffer with dyslexia or just struggle with instructions in general. Again, this is a visual way to help you out. So for all my regulars here, guys, I feel love. Thank you very much. I'll see you in a minute. So what am I building on Let's Build episode 100? I promise you guys the big boy. Big guy. This is what we're going for. Okay. Now this is a lovely kit in itself because it's a great Deamons Army, or you can build it as Kairos Fateweaver, which is a named character. I'm going to build him. But just to give you a heads up, it's basically the same. The body and the arms and all that. The only difference is it's a different staff head and different. Well, I think it's the same staff. Yeah, same staff, it's different staff head, and he has a sword in his arm. There's no doubt. Yeah, there's different variations. So you can have a wand or a staff. You have the different staff heads that go with it anyway. Yeah, it's just different heads as well. So you've got the one that's amazing head, rather than one. But this is the guy I'm going to build. I mean, look at that. That is just, wow. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pop him open and have a look at this kit and start going through bits and pieces. Right, my first thoughts are looking at this sprue. I was expecting it to be a lot more small bits that go together, then create a bigger piece. Like the Silent King and other things like that. But by the looks of it, it's nice big chunky pieces, which is absolutely fantastic. Now this is for games of 40k or AOS. So there's a stat lines for AOS. I have no idea what any of this is. But just give you a heads up, that's Kairos Fateweaver. And let's direct him in a zench. There's his stat line. Again, I have no idea what any of that is. But I can tell you, we'll go through, this is for everyone that's new. I go through the stat lines to show you the weapons and different things they can have. So the Great Deamons Army, Lord of Change, okay. He has a movement of 12 to start with. He has a wound cap and all that, so he can. There's wound cap, so there's different tiers. So when he gets wounded, he starts dropping down. Now in 10th edition, that's not going to happen, but at the moment, this is what we've got in front of us. So movement of 12, down to 10, down to 8. That's still pretty fast. He has a 3+ weapon skill, 4+ weapon skill, and 5+. His ballistic skill is 3+ throughout, strength 6 throughout, toughness 7 throughout. He has 20 wounds. Holy smoky macaroons, that's impressive. 5 attacks, down to 4, down to 3. Leadership of 10. He has a 5+ and a 3+ save. Okay, so I think the 5+ is from shooting, the 3+ combat. I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. Anyway, so his first weapon, his little staff thing there, is a range of 12, assault D6, strength 6, -1 AP and 2 damage apiece. That's not that impressive, but it's a ranged weapon, so it's not too bad. His second weapon is a blade. Melee attack, he has +1 strength, so that gives an impressive strength 7. I think Dreadnought's a toughness 7 as well, so that's quite impressive actually. -3 AP and 3 damage apiece. Now 5 attacks, he could max out at 15 damage. And the third one is this lovely staff. This is the staff in the other hand. It's immediate melee attack. Its strength is the same as the user, so it'd be strength 6, minus 2 AP and 3 damage apiece. Again, so still max out 15 damage if he's on his top wounds. Now, Kairos Fateweaver. And bear in mind, there's other rules that go with this guy, like spell is spellcaster, and he can do this and he can do that, and blah 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 blah. But they're not here. So just giving you basic rules of it. Kairos Fateweaver. Again, he has a wound tier business. So it's movement 12, 10, then 8, same as above. The weapon skill is the same as above. His ballistic skill is 3+ throughout. His strength 6 throughout. Toughness 7 throughout. He has 22 wounds. Wow. 5 attacks, 4 free, same as above. Leadership 10 throughout, and his armor save is same as above. But he only has the one weapon option, which is his staff, which is the same as melee. It's a melee weapon. It's +2 strength, so it becomes strength 8. Minus 3 AP, and it's 2d3 damage a piece. That is impressive, because if you, oh no, I suppose nice. No, oh no, it is, yeah. So you could roll 6 damage, you know, on 5 different attacks. That's a maximum. That's pretty good. Anyway, definitely dribbling on about that. Right. So if you're new to the channel, here's what we do. We go through tools needed as always. Mold line scraper. Now you can use a hobby knife or some sort of surgical blade. If you're using a sharp blade, just let everyone know you're using it, so nobody scares you by accident. Just be careful because it's sharp. We have clippers, the most useful part of our kit, because you know it's easier to get stuff on sprue and stuff, and any bits of sprue that are left on the bit you've taken off, you can easily snip away. I also use sanding sponge or sanding block. This is sanding block that I've cut down. Sanding sponge and sanding block, basically sponge with sandpaper wrapped around. Now, sanding block is not as flexible as the sanding sponge. Yeah. You find that in the hardware shop, near the sandpaper or the wallpaper somewhere in the area. These are very handy for getting into little bits and skinny little pieces that you need to be careful with. Now, this is a plastic kit, so I have plastic glue. But because this is a big boy, I have super glue at hand just in case. But I would imagine there are going to be some parts of this where I'm going to want to use super glue, just because I don't want to be sitting there for half an hour holding the plastic glue for it to finally hold. Right, so for everyone that's new, what we do now is we have a look through the sprue and ascertain what we can see to break the sprue up a little bit to make it easier for ourselves. So straight off the bat, we can see wings. Look at the detail on those wings. I can't wait to get this. I don't know if to even airbrush or just a contrast paint or wet blend contrast paint. I don't know. My little brain's going crazy over it. This is staff arm. There's another arm there, but there could be one that only takes a certain weapon. All these different pieces. There's a hand there. Is that the hand? Yeah, that's the hand I was looking at the back. Look at that. That is absolutely wow. That's Mr. Fateweaver. So that's when we're using that piece. There's all these different heads, like flaming bird heads, and oh, it's an amazing kit. There's his book. Right, so there's a leg. You can see that. There's another leg. Very straightforward. This looks like body parts. This looks like shoulders. This looks like more body parts. There's back of the body. There's another side of a body. There's the book. Oh, it's so lovely. I love that. I really can't wait to get on. There's this tabard by the looks of it. Again, there's some detail on that piece on its own. I mean, even the back's quite tasty. Wow. I never understand that when they make a model like that. The tabard's going to go on the front of him, so you're not going to really see the back of it. And if you do see the back of it, it's only a little glimpse. You're not going to have a detailed look. Same with the despoiler. When you build him, if you haven't seen that build video on him, I've done that, so go and check it out. But when you build him, you build his body, and then his armor gets placed over all the parts on him. You know, it's same as Vishta. the model I painted up recently, he's all muscle, and then you put the chest piece over in front of him. And if I knew how well I was going to paint him, I would have probably left the chest piece and tabard off just to give me that little bit more there. But anyway, so I'm going to finish getting set up and come back to you guys with the first pieces. And before I start showing you the first pieces, so I want to show you this. So you can see all the grey. That is the same on both of them. Great Deamons Essential or Lord Change and Kairos Fateweaver. That is the same on both of them. All of the grey. The green on Kairos Fateweaver is different. Is where you dial different to the Green Essential Lord of Change. Okay, that's why I show that to you. So if you're building either one, everything in grey is how you're going to do it first of all, before you branch off and start doing the other whatever bits you want to do. Okay. So anyway, so the first pieces that we need are number 11 and number 13. Okay, so I'm going to snip those two pieces off, clean them down, and I'll come back and show you how they go together. Right, so this first piece, there's a little groove in there, a little bit. There's a little bit there. So that literally just hooks on there like that. It just stays there. Okay. So I'm going to glue that into place, and then I'm going to come back for the next piece. So the next piece we're going to need is number 12, which is this piece over here. It's next to the book. So I'm going to snip that off, clean it down. Now bear in mind, this piece at the bottom here, you need that as well, so just be careful of the connection point here when you snip it and when you're cleaning it. This is where sanding sponge comes in perfect. Right, so again, this little piece, there's a little nook in there and a little nook on there that literally just sits in there, and you can see the bottom of that line up perfectly. So I'm going to glue that into place and we'll come back for the next piece. Right, so here we are. Very straightforward so far. So the next piece that we need is number 10, which is this piece right here. Okay, so I'm going to snip it off, clean it down, and come back and show you how it goes on. This model is always tickerish because you don't know if you're doing the right thing or if you're clipping the right piece off. So basically, that should be okay. Now, just in there, if focus is, there's a little knob bit. There's a little knob bit the other side as well. When you look at this, there's a little thing to catch it. The other side is just a hole. So the way you put it in, this side goes in first. Okay, you can basically see how it goes on, and that just clips over the top like that. And you got to push it in. I don't know. Let's try again. That goes in there. That goes in there. But you can see there's a little gap. So we're going to have to. We'll keep going. No, there's not meant to be a gap. So obviously that would fold underneath. Oh, dear me. This bit obviously goes like that underneath. Let's see if I can get it right. I'm going to put it over and come back and show you. Okay, so that was a very scary moment. I thought I was going to break it. I put glue on it already. Okay, but basically put it in, and you sort of got to pinch this a little bit because it's only the smallest little bit that's stopping it from popping in. And as you pinch it in, it pops in. Okay, now I'm going to run a bit of glue just in there, just to seat it up nice. As you can see, it's looking good. That's the way it should be. So I'm going to set that to dry. The next piece we're going to need, let's see if it's all on the same piece. We're going to need number 1, which is this bad boy. Number 3, which is this bad boy. That's very good placed. And number 2, which is a little claw foot, which is this one here. So this leg, this piece, and number 2. So I'm going to snip those 3 pieces off, and I'm going to come Is that number 2? No, so that's number 9. That's not even the piece we need. Well, that's too big. Well, we need the leg and this piece first. Yeah, I'm going to slip those off, clean those down, and I'm going to look for number 2 and come back to you and show you where that is. Right, so number 2 is on the other sprue, on the wing sprue. It's just down in that corner there. Okay, that's what we want. So I'm going to slip that off, and by the looks of it, it has to be snipped just there. So the little semicircle ball bit stays onto it. So I'm going to snip that off, carefully clean it down so I don't drop it anywhere. Clean the other 2 bits down, and I'll come back and show you how they go together. Right, I've got, I'm not in the camera, I've been clumsy moments now. I've put a little bit of glue in that little hole there, okay? Because that's how it goes in. I nearly dropped this tiny piece. So basically there is a little, bit, and it just sits into that gap. Oh, this is very tickerish moments. Very fiddly. I need a pair of tweezers, really. That's what I should really invest in next. So it goes in like that. Okay, I dare not touch that. But from what I can see, this is a face on the knee there. So there's a little tongue in the mouth. I think I might even have that upside down. I'm not too sure. I don't think that's really going to matter. But you can see there's a little ball on top there. Yeah. And this piece then, the little ball goes in there. There's 2 little males there, and they go into 2 females there. So I'm going to glue that on, okay, and then I'll come back to you for the next piece. Right, so the 2 next pieces that we need are number 5, which is this one here, and number 4, which is this little piece here. But I don't want to get them confused. So I don't think I can get them confused. I mean, they can, okay, I'm not going to get confused. So I'm going to start number 4. I'm going to snip that off, clean that down, and show you how that goes on. Right, so there's a hole in the foot there, little female, filled out with glue. Now, see that little bit sticking out? You keep that on there, and that basically just slots in there. There's only one way for it to go. Okay, so now we have to, it's time to get the foot together. The next piece that we need is number 5, which should be the piece there. Yeah, it's number 5. Yeah. So I'm going to snip that off, clean that down, and again, it's got the same bit, and the other side of the foot. See the hole? So that goes in the same way. So I'm going to snip that and clean that down and glue that in, and I'll come back then for the next piece. Looking tasty. So the next piece that we need is the other leg, which is number 6, and number 7, which is this piece here. So I'm going to snip those 2 pieces off, clean them down, and I'll have to show you how they go together yet. Right, so this piece is a little bit different. So you take the leg, you can see there's some holes, some males there. There's some females there, and you see the basic shape of the leg. It just slots on there like so. Very simple, a lot simpler than the last one. So I'm going to glue that into place, and I'll come back for the next pieces. Right, so for this leg we need number 8, which is here on the wing sprue. There's some detail on that wing. So number 8, which is there, and number 9, which is the one I was going for first of all. We'll start with number 9. I'm going to clip that off, clean it down, and it goes on this side. No, that's the wrong foot. I'm going to go on that side, it goes in there. Okay, see the mouth sticking out. So I'm going to clip it down, clean it down, and just put it into place, and then come back for the next one. So the next one's number 8. And it goes on the same way. So I'm going to snip it, clean it, glue it, and come back to you for the next piece. Right, so this stage of the build now, this is pretty much where you glue it and leave it. So basically it's this little lip here, there's a little hole there, there's a little hole in there, that lets your hooks in there, and in it goes. Yeah, that's that side. And the other side, how does the other side go on now? It's telling me, oh, it hooks in there. Is that right? I'll come back. I'll do one side and I'll figure out how the other side goes on. I'll come back and show you because it's a little bit weird. Right, so this is how this one goes in. Goes in like that. Yeah, there's a little, there must be a little bit underneath, but you use the back of it to line up. It just goes in. Okay. So I'm going to glue that into place because I stood him up with it in there, and he doesn't stand freestanding, but it is the way it goes because both his paws touch the base nicely. So I'm going to glue it into place and then come back. Then what I'm going to do, this is one of those things where I'm going to glue it into place, then leave it for a few hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours, probably even until tomorrow. Then I'm going to glue him to his base. That's the next thing to glue into the base. So I'll glue him to the base, and then when I come back to you, that'll all be glued to the base and dried. See you in a minute, guys. So here we have him. Looking good. It's a great, massive model. Standing there, says the next to him. Look at the size difference. Absolutely insane. Or better still, Kinetic Doomstalker. Yeah. At the moment, he's up to here on the Doomstalker, so it's a huge model. Right, so the next piece we need is number 18, which is this lovely little piece here. So I'm going to snip it, clean it, and then I'll show you how it goes on. Right, so this piece is very straightforward. There's a little diamond bit in there, and there's a little bit here in the middle of the head that just slots into there like so. So I'm going to finish off cleaning that piece because I just missed a piece there. I'm going to finish cleaning that, and then I'm going to glue that into place and come back for the next piece. So the next piece we need is number 16, which is this little piece here. See, there's the book, the big massive book. It's just there. 16. Knocking the model over. And on the winged sprue, we need 17, which is the one here. So it's just below this crazy piece. So I'm going to snip those two pieces off, clean them down, show you how they go together. And so these two arm pieces were throwing me for a little bit, but basically there's a little dimple bits in there. On the bottom of this, there's a bar. So that bar just slots in there. Okay, nice and easy. If you're not sure, the corner of that goes into there. That's the best way to line it up. But this is going to be one of those things where you have to glue it and leave it then to dry, because then the whole arm glues on. So I'm going to glue that into place, and then we'll come back for the next piece. So the next piece we need is number 14, which is the front tabard piece. It's absolutely amazing. So much detail on it and everything. It's actually fantastic. But I'm going to snip that off. Now, these pieces need to stay. These pieces need to stay, and that middle piece needs to stay. So I'm going to snip them off, and then I'm going to clean it down, and then I'm going to show you how it goes on. Right, so this tabard, these little bits on top, they basically slot on his belt line. Okay, they just slot in there on either side, and it brings his tabard to the place it's supposed to be. So I'm going to glue that into place and come back for the next piece. Right, that was a pain in the ass to hold and glue. Now the arm, this funny piece here, just slots in here like so. Okay, so it connects to this part, connects to that part, it goes in. So I'm going to glue that into place, and I'll come back to you for the next piece then. Right, so it's at this point now where these two kits change. So if you're doing Lord of Change, you carry on. I'm doing Kairos Fateweaver, so this is where it changes a little bit. Now the next piece is telling me to do stuff on the front and stuff on the head and all business, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to jump onto his staff. So number 61, which is the big book. There's a lot of detail there, so be careful when taking it off, especially the tongue part here. So that's the birds jumping on the roof there. And these little pieces, be careful with that. Yeah. And we need the staff itself with the hand on it. Get on the screen. There it is. That's number 31. Okay. So I'm going to, bloody noisy. I'm going to snip those two pieces off, clean them down, and I'll show you how they go together. And it's such an amazing piece. Now, at the bottom of this book, there's a little hole there. On the top of the staff there, there's a little hole. So that basically just slots straight into there, like so. Yeah, this is why we jumped ahead to this, because it's going to take some wait for the glue to dry for that, because that's his hand to glue it onto the arm that's already there. Yeah, like so. So I'm going to glue the book to the top of the staff, and come back for the next piece. So the next pieces that we need, first of all, are 42, which is this little piece. 41, which is this piece. Yeah, it's on the same sprue as the wing. And number 62, which is this lovely hand here. Yeah, so I'm going to snip those three bits off, clean them down, and come back and show you how they go together. Right, so this is very sorry, not really enough in the camera. There's a little pin in that. There's a hole that just slots in there. Again, the triangle, the joint bit here, lines up there. So as I'm going to do it now, of course, you don't want to line up properly. Goes on there like that. Okay. And the hand, the wrist, has a slight slant. The hand has a slight slant. So it just glues in there like that. So you have this amazing hand. The eye on it is absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to glue those three bits together, and then I'll leave them to dry, because I need to leave the staff to dry before I glue it onto the guy. And I'll come back to you for the bits that we've jumped ahead from. So the bits that we haven't done yet, that we should have done first, because I want to give that a chance to glue and dry, and the arm to glue and dry. So now that they've dried, this is how the arm goes on. I love that hand. It's fantastic. It just slots in there like that. Okay. Slots in there. So I'm going to glue that one into place, and we'll come back for the next hand. Now, so this other piece just basically glues on there. Okay, so it's one of those things that's a bit of a mad fit. So he's going to glue on there. It's meant to touch the base as well, so I don't know what way it's going to work like that. But there's basically the bit that's connect. So I'm going to glue that into place. Glue that onto the base as well. I'm going to come back to you for the bits that we skipped ahead from. Right, so the pieces that we skipped ahead from, actually before I go further, that is actually easier to put on than what I thought. I was thinking super glue, but I went with plastic glue first of all, and actually went on perfect. I'm a bit dubious about handling the model whilst that's drying, but the longer I leave that, the better it is. So I'm going to move on with the next pieces, because they don't interfere with that area, but I need to handle the model to put the next pieces on. But anyway, next pieces we need, number 55. Come on, get them. This is this lovely piece here. And number 60, which is this little triangle piece here. Okay, so I'm going to snip those down, clean those down, and I'll show you where they go. Right, so I've got it in my hand. Very ticklish moments. So basically this little piece, there's a little gem bit at the back here. Okay, a little pip. There's a hole there that just sits in there. It's a very weird connection, but it sits in there like that. And this piece, I don't want to touch the base or anything. That's mad, because the staff isn't even actually on the base. That's mad. I thought it was. this piece slots across the front here. Okay, so I'm going to glue those two into place, and then we'll come back for the next pieces. Right, so now we need number 69, which is this piece here, and number 70. So I'm going to snip those, clean those, and then come back and show you how they go together. And so this is very straightforward. There's holes, females and males, and you just look at the fur on the top. It just lines up like that. Okay, so when you put it together, just make sure there's no, so there's a little join line between there. Just make sure you, when you do it, just run the glue along the edge there, just to get rid of that join line. Same as there. Okay, but don't put too much, you don't want to lose all that detail, that ridge, that nice ridge detail for dry brushing and contrast paint and everything else. And glue that together, and back for the next piece. And so the next one we need is 66, which is this piece here, and 65, which is this piece here. So these two pieces, I'm going to snip them, clean them, come back and show you how they go together. Again with this one, males and females. You've got the flames at the top, you've got the armor places at the top. It just basically go around like that. Give you another neck. So I'm going to glue those two together. Again, look at the join line. Just make sure I get that join line. Make sure there's no join line underneath. There's a horrible little join line along there. Yeah, just so I can see where it is. See there. So I'm going to get rid of those, glue those together, and then come back for the next pieces. Right, so how these two join together had me baffled for a little while. We have two females there, and there's actually two little males there. So they basically just glue in like so. Okay, just glue in there like that. That's going to be a pain in the backside to glue together. That's how it looks on the inside. So I'm going to glue them in place. Again, I'm going to go with plastic glue, not super glue, but you could use super glue. There's a few moments with this build actually where you might have used hot glue just to get the initial join line, and then super glued it over the top and glue it together. But anyway, I'm going to glue it into place. So it gives you two heads. I'm going to come back to them for the next pieces. Right, so on to the heads. So we need number 67, which is this bad boy here. Okay, bloody birds. And we need number 28, which is this piece here. Okay, so by the looks of it, let's have a look. Let's flip this over and have a look. Sorry, you're on from the end. Okay, so that looks a bit mad. The reason I'm saying that is because this one here has that little block at the bottom. So I'm going to snip it from the sprue and leave that little block. Okay, and then dry fit it and see if that block has to come off or not. I don't think it does. But just again, look how thin that is. Just be careful when snipping it off. You might want to snip it here. Just to get this piece away from the sprue, and then you can snip it off afterwards. So I'm going to snip them, clean them, I'll show you how they go together. Right, so I was right in my initial thought. That block's supposed to stay because there's a little female there, there's a little male there. So this basically just slots in there like so. Okay, so I'm going to glue it into place and then come back for the next piece. So the next piece we need is number 68. So just took this piece. So this piece we need. I'm going to snip it down, clean it down, and show you how it goes on. Right, again, this is very straightforward. There are, let's do it very carefully, there are a few females. There's a female there. There's a male there as well. And that just slots over the top. Okay, like so. So I'm going to glue it into place, and then come back and glue it into place, make sure there's no join lines, and come back for the next piece. Right, so then this piece things glues onto there. So that's the one with the fur on it, not the armour. So I'm going to glue that into place and come back for the next piece. Right, so we need 64, which is this piece. We've just taken those two pieces, so we need 64, which is that piece, and we need 27, which is there. The piece we took for the last one was 28, which is there. So you see it's on the same area. Again, we need a little square block because it goes in the same way. So I'm going to snip them off, clean them down, and I don't need to show you how it goes on. It's the same as the other one. There's a little bloody bird. There's a little male there, and to 28, or 27, sorry, there's 27, has the little female. Okay, so it's going to go straight on there. I'm going to glue that together, and then come back and show you the next piece. Right, so the next piece needed is 63, which is the last of those heads. So I'm going to snip it off, clean it down, and it goes on the same way. There's a few female holes. Yeah, and there's a few male holes on this one. Okay, so it's the same way. Right, so again, with this face, this head, it just slots on there. Okay, nice and simple. So I'm going to glue that. That's so much detail on there. That's amazing. Anyway, I'm going to glue that on, and then what I'm going to do then is leave it to dry for an hour or so, because then this glues into the body, which I'll come back and show you how to do that, and then it'll be working on the wings. So it's looking good so far. So what we do now is that you can see there's a little nook there, there's a little nook that side that just literally just slots in there like that. Okay, so I'm going to glue that into place, and then I'll come back to you for the wings. Right, so for the wings, I need this one first, which is number 49. Okay, this one next to that staff. I need number 53, which is this piece here. Okay, so I'm going to snip those two pieces off, clean them down, and show you how they go together. Right, I found a mistake on this kit. Absolutely surprising because of the cost of the kit and everything else. So it's saying I need wing number 49 and this piece 53. Yeah, now this piece, I see that there's a slot on there. Okay, that's grand. They said that's the wrong wing. So they have them numbered up wrong on the sprue. It's telling me I need number 49, which is this one here. Yeah, which one I've taken. But it's not. This is the one I need. Because I look at the instructions, and this piece goes on here, onto that one, and it's on the outside. These are on the outside of the bird, of his wingspan, not on the inside. So GW, you messed that one up, I'm afraid, guys. So this, okay, the instructions saying we number 49, which is this one, but it's not. It's number 48. Now they could have rectified this problem by now, I don't know, but hopefully they have. So I'm going to snip this one off, clean it down, and show you how they go together. What a big mistake they made there. Oh, smokes. You know, so this piece goes in here, like so. Okay, so I'm going to leave it to dry for a minute. Now the other one is the same, except it's number 52 I need, which is the piece you need is another one of those. Okay, so I'm gonna slip that off, clean it down, and glue it the same, but on on this side here. Okay, and I'm going to come back to you and then show you how to put the wings on. Right, so the two pieces that we need, these two pieces and these two pieces, yeah? But we only need one set of each. Now, we need number 47, which is this one, okay? But this one's number 45. They're the same sort of design. The 45 and, what one's this? 44, which is this one here, are for the Lord of Change, okay? These two are for Lord of Change. These two are for Kairos Fateweaver. So I'm going to take this one off first, number 47, clean it down, and I'm going to show you how it goes on. Right, so for this number 47, you want the wing with this bit on the outside, okay, because that slots into the model. And what we do is, see there's all the little jagged steps, yeah, see the feathers, that just lines up in there. I've still got a little piece to snip off, but that sort of lines up in there, like so, okay. Then this whole piece then glues into the side of him, like so, okay. So I'm going to snip that little piece off that I've missed, sprue. I'm going to glue that together and glue that into place, and we'll come back for the other wing. I'm actually going to leave it to dry for a few minutes. The next piece I need is number 46, which is this piece. So I'm going to snip it off, clean that down, and then it goes on the same way with the jagged pieces. And the jagged pieces of the feathers. Bear in mind that little symbol has to be on the outside. So I'm going to snip it down, glue it into it, and then I'll come back and start gluing the wings in. Well, I'd glue the wings in afterwards. I don't need to show you that. It's very simple, I'll just show you. Right, so I need now number 56, which is this shoulder pad. I'm going to snip it off, clean it down, show you how it goes on. There are a few other pieces that go onto this model now. Where are we? Here's one of these pieces, 71. There is no way in hell I'm going to dangle that off of his chin. I'm telling you that now, guys. I'm not going to dangle that off of his chin. So that's not going to go on. Okay, but it's meant to go on the chin here. No way. I'm very dubious with this now because I put one of these together before, lead model, and there was no end of nightmare with it because the old lead ones had a little bar across the back, and one wing went one side, one wing went the other side, which was, you know, invisible set was pretty good. The problem with the old lead models when they were this sort of, well, not this size, but the big models, the slightest little millimetre off making it, casting it, was meant that you couldn't get on properly. So when I did actually put it together, it wouldn't sit properly. So what I had to do in the end is pin it, both wings, which worked the treat, but then there was a small gap, so I had to fill the gap with some super glue and baking soda. So far with this, compared to the lead one, this has been a joy to build. But with that said, the staff doesn't quite touch the base, which is a disappointment. So what I've got is, I've got a piece of plastic clear sprue, and I've glued it to the base, but glued it right up to the staff, so the staff is stuck to it with super glue. Okay. Now when I come to do the base, I'm going to be texture astro granite earth the base anyway, so you're not going to see that bit of sprue. I've got a piece of off-cut sprue, and I wedged it underneath the foot here because the foot's not quite flat on the ground. This side is sort of raised a little bit, so I wedged it underneath and glued that to the base and glued it to the foot of the model, so it looks like it's standing on debris. That's it. But apart from the little thing dangling off his chin, which I'm not going to do, his shoulder pad is the next piece. Like I said, number 56. So I'm going to snip that off, clean it down. I'm going to show you where that goes. Now, so this shoulder pad, there's 3 little holes in there. I'll be gluing it so you're not going to be able to see it too well. But on his arm there's 3 little bits that stick out. It's going to be a pain in the backside now. There's the wing. Maybe this should have gone on first, I'd say. Oh yeah, I'm going to get it on there and I'll come back to you guys. Now, so there's 3 optional pieces, which is this daggone 2 bits of cloth. It's absolutely beautiful, hanging off of him. There's this little piece, which is like a head by the looks of it. A nice little bag with tentacles that coming out of it, little whatever they are hanging off. Again, it's fantastic. But I'm not going to go with those because they're too fiddly for me to put on. Here's another optional thing. Scroll. Again, I'm not going to put that on. This is too fiddly. But that's essentially built now, which is absolutely bonkers. There is some incandescent horrors on the base. Oh no, he doesn't have any of the incandescent horrors. So what you have, let's have a look what we got here. Actually have little men like that. Now you can put them on a base if you want to. There's one, two. There's two guys. So if you have a 25mm base, excuse me, if you have a 25mm base, you can actually snip those off and just glue those on 25mm base by themselves and give yourself another incandescent horror, or they're not called incandescent horrors anymore. What are they called now? Amber horrors? What are they called now? There's the book. Let's have a look, see. Brimstone horrors, that's the one. Give yourself another base of brimstone horrors, which is always handy to have extra models, or you can hold on to them. And when you build a model that has, like this Chaos Lord, yeah, and I've put the Nogly on him. So say I made him to Zench, I could then put one of the Brimstone Horrors, or both Brimstone Horrors, hanging off this model's base somewhere, which is always nice, little extras. But this model's finished, apart from the extras that I'm not going to put on because I don't trust myself to hold it long enough. This is a beast of a model, guys. I'm delighted that this is Let's Build 100. I was holding off for the Silent King to be Let's Build 100, but then I ended up building him anyway, and he was the hardest model. This is nowhere near a level of difficulty. I would still give this guy probably a 7 to 8, only because there's certain parts of this model where you have to glue it and leave it, glue it and leave it. So it does take a little bit of time to get ready. By rights, the wings, when I glued the middle bit to the wing, I should have left it maybe for a couple of hours. I didn't. I glued it, left it for 10-15 minutes, and glued it in. Now, looking at this now as well, there are some horrible mold lines along here. I don't know if you can pick that up along the spikes there. Again, that's not a big issue, because when all that's dry, I can come through with my mold line scraper and gently scrape it away. Or, suspending spine, I don't think that'll get between the claws, the spikes hanging off his wings there. But there's a little piece in here that I can see. Yeah. Again, if you do, when I bring down show pretty pictures, if you do see mold lines, or if you build it yourself and afterwards go, oh, look, I missed a mold line there, or I missed a bit there, don't panic, because once it's all dry, you can give it a little sand down, okay, or a little clean down. There's no problems. Obviously, you have to be careful with certain parts, like if you're trying to clean this down, you have to be pretty careful, because it's not the sturdiest of things. It's beautiful. Now, I actually love this sculpt. I'm looking at it and I'm just thinking, the sheer amount of detail in that. Do I airbrush? Do I contrast paint? Do I do a mixture of both? What do I do? How do I go about painting this? What colour do I do with the feathers versus the skin? Oh my goodness me. Not only that, guys, as I said with the Brimstone Horrors, there are so many extras on this sprue. It's unbelievable. Like all these parts left over, yeah? You could couple them together to make spawns. This could be used to make to be an icon for a unit of 1,000 Suns. Same as this. You know, absolutely insane. I mean, this could be on a Chaos Hero, supposed to be a hero, or a Demon Herald, or a Demon Prince. These could be used to make it to go part of a Demon Prince. The heads. That's just one sprue. I mean, you got this arm here. Look at this. This is for the sword to go to, but you could easily make it into a Demon Prince and modify it and all that sort of stuff. Look at the blade. Oh, dearie me. There's some arm pieces here. Yeah. But the heads would connect. Oh, are they neck pieces? I think they're neck pieces actually, sorry. That the head would connect onto for the little change. There's a shoulder piece for the gap. I mean, these pieces here are absolutely beautiful. On the Lord of Change, these go on where the wings, where the little fish wing go on these guys. Yeah. Because that's what the little sun symbol. But it's absolutely just insane. I mean, even this little piece here. Wow, that'd be excellent as an icon for a 1,000 Sun unit, or even a unit Chaos Space Museum Michael Zench. Absolutely fantastic. There's so many bits here that can be used. Use on an essential Chaos Sorcerer to try and scroll. Just crazy stuff. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel in a massive, massive way. For everyone that's been part of the channel since, you know, way back at the beginning, guys, I love you so much. You know, every time I put a video up and you guys watch it and you comment on it, means the world to me. Everyone smash the thumbs up button, because that will trigger YouTube to share this video with more and more people and build this lovely community even bigger. Guys, until next time, take it easy. I'll see you then.